can do that.
I want to make my mom happy, too. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is going to save me an entire weekend.
That's why we're here.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes?
Thank you.
When you want junk to disappear, call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9
That's
FM.
what it does. MS disrupts signals, divides minds from bodies, pulls us from our lives and away from each other. MS destroys connections, so it's only fitting that connections would be its greatest enemy. Because as more connections form, maybe more questions will lead to more answers. Maybe more understanding will lead to more resources. Maybe more people sharing what they've lived through will lead to better lives. And if everyone touched by this disease, every person with MS, every family affected by it, every doctor treating it, and every individual who hears what this disease does, combine their efforts and knowledge and hope, then maybe the connections we make can become more powerful than the connections MS destroys. MS kills connection. Connection kills MS. Give what you know at msconnection.org.
The way Daniel was handling government affairs, they couldn't find anything to criticize or condemn. He was faithful, always responsible, and completely trustworthy. So they concluded our only...
Fine, thank you.
I was reading on the internet and we don't have much credibility now, but the reports are coming out that they're starting to peak. The coronavirus is starting to peak in China.
Oh, in fact, they've had no new cases, they claim, again, to the extent that you can believe them. They've had no new cases in the Wuhan area for the first time, so yeah. I mean, if they're telling the truth, that's very good news.
Right. I'm trying to get your advice.
Between hope
I truly expected, what do you want when you win one? You want two. And if you had two, you want 3 and 4 and 5. But it's so disappointing not to win it, particularly after you have, because you know you have that capability. But as you get away from your career, you just realize how fortunate you are. The great players that had to be surrounding you in order for you to have that success. It's never one guy. We had the Adam Graves, the Messes, the Leachies, the Zubovs, and just character up and down that lineup. And
did you ever see Craig McTavish lose a face-off?
No. And I always talk about that last picture where you have Steve Larmer pinning his man against the boards, Mac T winning the face-off, Mark, clearing the front of the net. Everybody who was brought in to do their job did their job, and that's why you win. Every puzzle piece has to be working in unison and doing what they are asked to do. And it is a thrilling moment, and really one that I feel every day that goes by I'm more fortunate.
Steve Larmer with that left-handed shot. Esa Tikkanen certainly played a role, didn't he?
Yeah, Esa. It's almost impossible to give him the credit that he's due. He's quietly there, but people don't talk about him as much as they should. He was such a brilliant player, so talented offensively, but also so smart about reading the play. He could shut down any forward on the opposition team because he had the skill and the speed and the strength to hang with anybody. So he can be that shutdown guy, and he can come in and score goals. Kovalev was the same way. I mean, who do you defend on that team, right? Yeah, you go after Leachy and Zubov and Metz and Gravy. And Gravy scored, 54 that year? There's a lot of weapons. And as you know, you might shut those guys down for a little bit, but if you truly have a team, someone else is going to come to the fore, and then, enter Matteau. And, he didn't just score one overtime goal. He had scored a couple big ones in that series. So, yeah, it was, when you have that kind of success over that long period of time, that's always going to be a team effort.
Zubov at the point. And,
so good.
Oh, yeah, and absolutely amazing, that's for sure. And here's what Brian Leach, and this is a quote from Brian Leach about you. Never seen anyone more focused. As the game got tougher, he got better. If a goal was ever scored on him, I was always surprised. And you allude to Pavel Bure and the penalty shot he had against you in Game 4 of the Cup Finals. Can I say that Pavel Bure never had a chance?
That's funny. Well,
to Adam Schefter, the idea was to tell other people they need to do their part in keeping others safe. Even if they feel like they might not be somebody affected as quickly as someone else, keep yourself safe so other people aren't impacted. What does this say about Sean Payton, and what should we know about him that he's putting this statement out to try to keep other people safe?
Yeah, I mean, that was an interesting first instinct for him, instead of just keeping it private, realizing the effect it could have. And what's really interesting, Ryan, is the state of Louisiana had already elicited Ed Orgeron to be their campaign spokesman in a bunch of commercials to try to raise awareness around the state and tell people, to take all this stuff seriously, look for the symptoms, do what everyone's telling them. And now Sean Payton, who wasn't a part of that campaign, will, for unfortunate reasons, probably have an even bigger impact.
More players changing uniforms to new teams. Adam Schefter reporting the Lions trading cornerback.
Massive cancer. He lost his voice. He has shortness of breath. And he's here now to get treated. He was scared. Elsewhere, they scared him. They did not inform us of the risks, benefits, and alternatives properly. We try to inform every person in the best possible way, and that's why we treat many head and neck cancers, and many head and neck cancers respond beautifully to our treatment.
Québec 5-1. En tout temps.
Le vendredi 20 mars, voici les principales entraves prévues sur le...
Chinese restaurant. I mean, it's massive. And I watched, they got the system down, and the amount of food that they're cranking out on any given night and then delivering, it's unbelievable. And they've got this whole system where they keep it clean, and I mean, it's amazing still, and it's like, an average day. And they feed so many of us. So that's good news. If you can call your local restaurant, be proactive, see if they're open, and maybe you can just order in and have a family dinner and put a couple of movies on Netflix, or what is it, Apple?
Well, there's Hulu, there's Netflix.
Prime Video,
Amazon Prime. Another thing that we have to remind our audience about
Sean. You watch Yellowstone?
Oh, no. If they'd spent less effort on studying child car seats, vaping, and guns, none of those are diseases. It's a pretty good point. You look at what some of the things the CDC does, and you're going to be like, wait, what? We're studying how transgender lesbians who are on a diet respond to diabetes drugs. Wait, what? Aren't you for the Centers for Disease Control? Diabetes is a disease. All right, well, sorry, that was a bad example. Some of the stuff you look at, there's no disease in it. Like you said, child care seats. And then our last fiscal discipline, we talked about this. When we've racked up $20 trillion in debt, and a lot of that debt came during the good times, then how do we take care of it when we're in the bad times? Love your thoughts on all that. 855-400-SAVAGE gets you on board the program. Let me get John in Spokane. John, you are on the Savage Nation. My name's Greg Knapp. Go right ahead.
Hey, Greg.
Hey there.
Hey, so I've been watching these Congresses try to pass these bills. They're going to give every American $1,000 and $500 for a kid. And their urgency is to get money in the Americans' hands. I'm a business owner up here in Washington. I deal with unemployment. How about everybody that was laid off that's been earning a paycheck each and every week for the last few years gets expedited onto unemployment, and then they can receive their unemployment checks. That way people who don't deserve $1,000 or who are employed, the government there's so much bureaucracy, they're never going to be able to figure out who deserves what and who deserves this and who deserves that. The people that have been working and were forcibly laid off should be able to get expedited on unemployment.
That sounds like a good idea to me, because then you're hitting the people who really need it, who have been working, no fault of their own, they're being laid off. Let's help them out. Let's keep them afloat until, hopefully 5-6 months from now, they're back working and everything's okay, compared to everybody gets $1,000 and then what?
And you're exactly right. That's I've been trying to drill this point down to everybody, and it's like I'm speaking a foreign language. That's what unemployment was there for, to take care of the people who have been working that come up on hard times. This is actually a perfect example for us. There's no fault of their own. They were forced to stay home from work. In Spokane here, on Sunday night, they closed down all the restaurants and bars. So everybody that was due to go to work Monday all of a sudden doesn't have a job. Well, right. It seems like they should qualify for unemployment, huh?
Well, I'm with you, John, exactly. And so many of these people that are going to be out of work are the people that, they're not making a ton of money to begin with. And now all of a sudden you take this away from them, and through no fault of their own. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. A couple quick ones. Did you see the New Orleans mayor, LaToya Cantrell, Democrat, signed a coronavirus emergency order.
Successful treatment. 2. Avoiding radical robotic surgery. 3. Keeping sexual function. 4. Maintaining urinary control. Call my Dr. Lederman. 212 Choices. 212 Choices to consider his prostate cancer treatment for you. Most insurances, Medicare and Medicaid, accepts it. 1384 Broadway at 38. Call 212 Choices for prostate cancer treatment. Call Dr. Lederman. 212 Choices. I'm glad I did. You'll be number 1 with Dr. Lederman.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day in which we all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to keep harmful secondhand smoke out of our public spaces and workplaces. And fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of
amid the outbreak, but did have staff wear masks and gloves. He suspended his studio audience last week, but one staffer just tested positive after not feeling well last week with a dry cough symptom. Word is Dr. Oz was instrumental in having the staffer tested. The doctor will now tape his show from a studio base at his home. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Top trending stories on WBEMNewsRadio.com.
Chicago public school students will be out of class until April 20th at the earliest due to the coronavirus.
For Team Electrica, when we go out every day to service the community, we never forget our duty.
Oh, if you go back in time, you're also going back in space. So you got to figure out where the Earth was back when, at the same time that you want to go back to. And the shortcut to that, which, and I have to say this one thing, there's certain things about this process I can't reveal because essentially it gives you other ideas for people that can be weaponized and would violate U.S. Code 35, Chapter 17, Segment 181, which has to do with revealing technology information that will threaten national security. But the short answer to that whole issue is if you're going to do something like that, you are going back to that Earth at a particular time the way it was, which means it's also going to be in the same spot in space where it was. Okay? It's like the whole thing. And remember, another way of looking at it is space and time are connected. It's a space-time continuum. So you don't have to separate them out. If you're going to be in one spot for a particular time, then that's where you're going to be in space as well, because that's where it was. So it's like, it's two birds, you get two birds with one stone, so to speak. You don't have to do that extra extrapolation.
The team made the announcement Tuesday after saying
chaque expérience sexuelle est différente. On répète jamais la même chose chaque fois. Ça montre que c'est agréable, que ça...
It's almost a tripwire for them.
Psychologist Patrick McGrath of the online therapy service NoCD.
They've been concerned already for a long time about contamination, and now this might be proof to them that some of their fears are actually true and real.
The problem is that rational concerns about hygiene are feeding patients irrational fears, creating an additional challenge for their loved ones and for mental health professionals. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
It's 12:48. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. On the 8th, Ken Daniels, construction causing delays in Connecticut.
They're cheaper getting them from China. So China goes in through their Belt Road Initiative, lends cheap money to predatory land. And then they've also gone and it's like rare earth
Grand classique qui vieillit si bien. À 16h, toute direction, un retour à la maison où ne manque rien de l'essentiel. Puis, on relaxe avec la plus belle musique de collection 940 dès 18h.
Les succès légendaires et l'actualité au présent. CFF 940, Montréal.
Do the Twitter polls. Go ahead, Stugatz.
Do you know what a Roomba is? Is that the vacuum that you have in your house that is just like is it a robotic vacuum? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, wow. 93.6% of the audience said yes, they know what it is. Are you addicted to the internet? 90% of the audience said yes. Does your life fall apart when your Wi-Fi does? 85% of the audience said yes. Does Tyra Banks model theme park, Model Land, sound like a good idea? 81% of the audience said no. Those are the polls today, Dano.
Billy, are you ready to do some Music Dome here? Because I want to put down my headset and be done for the day. So if you want to do the Music Dome update, are you ready to do this? I know I didn't give you any warning. What's that, Mike?
Why do you want to put down your headsets? That's such a great segment.
Yeah.
Rude.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I just told you why I want to. I want to throw my headsets right now at the computer screen and be done with the show today. Go ahead, Billy. Music Dome. With that kind of intro, how could you not be excited about reviewing The Masked Singer?
No, you don't.
Thanks, Dan. So yesterday was The Masked Singer again. And we were in Group C. We're 1 week away from finding out who's going to make it to the Super 9 from Group C. We started things out. Oh, guys. Special guest host Joel McHale, who does it like every year. We started things out with the astronaut, who performed Signed, Sealed, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. Some of the clues were Circle of Life, Orion's Belt, and Sign Language. Let me just give you the guesses because I don't have a lot of time here. Ken thought it could be Donald Glover. Joel thought that it could be Corey Feldman. And Robin thought that it could be Jason Burr. I don't even know what name it is. All right, let's move on to the Night Angel. The Night Angel performed... I don't know what that says. The Night Angel performed Million Reasons by Lady Gaga. Here were some of the clues. Sitting in a room with angels. Castle with strawberry. I don't know what that was. Sweet tea. And she said she built an empire and wanted to give a million reasons. All right, here were some of the guesses. Jenny thought it could be Regina King. Joel thought it could be Sia or Jessica Simpson. And Nicole thought that it could be Taraji P. Henson from Empire. Right, Dan? Empire.
Sierra. Like what?
All right. Now, let's move on to the next performance. The T-Rex performed Push It by Salt and Peppa. Dan, remember them?
I love them.
All right, here are some of the clues. Singles and doubles, then a reference to a bumblebee, and afraid of being I don't know what this says.
Okay, that's good. That's wonderful. Yeah, okay.
All right, here are some of the guesses. Ken thought it could be Lily Singh. Robin thought that it could be Liza from Double Dare, which is what I thought too. You know, the reboot, Liza Double Dare again. And Joel McHale thought that it could be Michaela Schifrin. You know, Michaela?
I don't know what.
The next performance, the Swan. The Swan performed I Hate Myself for Loving You by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Here are some of the clues. Something about a Wonderland, the newsroom, rainbows, made in Japan. Here are some of the guesses. Joel thought it would be Mila Kunis. Jamie thought that it would be Kristen Stewart. And Ken thought it would be Kristen Bell or Sandra Bullock. You think it's Sandy, Dan?
I really wish you'd stop asking me questions.
All right, let's move on to the final performance of the night by the Rhino.
Ask him the Stugats, would you? Ask him the Stugats. The questions to Stugats. Would you stop asking me the questions? If anyone
all right, here's some of the clues for the Rhino. Flying high, always being a rich sister. Southern, there were some funny, and the Rhino's very tall. Here's some of the guesses. Robin still thinks that it's Tim Tebow. Ken thought it could be Chris Pratt, and Nicole thought it could be Ryan Lochte. You got any guesses as to who the Rhino might be?
Lochte.
All right.
Why do these people?
Find out who eliminated the Swan eliminated, unfortunately. So we move on to our final guesses. You guys have a final guess?
A final guess. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Swan is female, so it's not Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That was a good guess. You got Joel thought it would be Mila Kunis. Robin thought that it would be Nina.
Online delivery service or
no matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
Face-to-face contact, that works too, but currently it's still...
West Parkway, Route 3 is moving freely Tingsboro to Burlington. On 93, you'll get from 128 down to the Fellsway in about 15 minutes. South of the city, Expressway north and south, wide open, top to bottom, 15 minutes tunnel to the split. Route 3 is moving freely, 128, nothing in your way, 13-minute ride from the Pike to 95 in Canton. This report sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk driving and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. 41 degrees, cloudy skies. Steve Perez, WBZ Traffic on the 3s. Here's...
To revive its stance over the Tokyo Games. The calls come as a pull in Italy. No question about it. Above.
Crime is serious. It kind of, makes you worried. You want to be on guard at all times.
Same stressful activities time after time. Day after day. Overuse in 90.
Call Quality Homes of Rochester today. Get your
rest. Overuse can happen in gymnastics, tennis, weight training, even cheerleading and swimming.
Okay, kids, turn their laps to go.
You get the idea. Left untreated, overuse trauma to young shoulders, elbows, knees, and wrists may require surgery. If your kids play hard and train hard, make sure you have expert advice for treating and preventing overuse injuries. Visit orthoinfo.org or stopsportsinjuries.org. A public service message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons and the American Orthopedic Society for Sports Medicine. By 2003.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there? In order
That's why it has debunked your theory about time travel. You're not debunking your theory. You're giving your testimony of Jesus Christ on my show. You should tell us call screeners when you call in that you're going to give a testimony about Jesus Christ on my show, so I know either to avoid you or to talk about it when we're talking about Jesus Christ.
Make sure you download Honey. Get Honey for free. It's free. And here's where you go. joinhoney.com/Levin. joinhoney.com/Levin. That's joinhoney.com/LEVIN. It's that simple.
Cherry, Passaic, New Jersey, the great WABC. Go.
Yes, Mark.
How do you relax and unwind?
In the plane, when the door closed, don't ever expect to reach me through Wi-Fi, because I keep lying to everybody by saying Wi-Fi doesn't work. I hate when people invade my life with a lot of bombarding emails that I need to respond because I'm on the flight.
If you weren't the CEO of a hotel group today, what would you be doing?
I'll be in the family office. I think I will spend 90% of my time with startups.
Sebastian, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Ciao.
773-1011. Join us for the remainder of the show. We'll be here and listen to
the whole creation grown together until now.
Never endorsed a pain reliever before, but because I had struggled for years with my lower back pain, I just had to give Relief Factor a try. And I'm here to tell you, I am now pain-free. It's simply wonderful. So when the father and son owners of Relief Factor, Pete and Seth Talbot, asked me, I definitely decided to make an exception because there are simply too many people struggling with pain from aging, exercise, or just everyday living that need to know about the 3-week quick start discounted to only $19.95.
Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov. You're an HR. You're probably
Centipede and Punk is now branching out into hotels. Groundbreaking is expected on the first one in Phoenix, Arizona this year. Plans in the works for locations that include Las Vegas and Chicago. The hotels will offer virtual reality experiences and some of the facilities.
WSC.net helps capital region business live and thrive with everything they need. Help people dial 435-0688 plus 1300 with eyes on WSC.net for our website and your business is WSC.net for web design, WSC.net for internet marketing, WSC.net for IT consulting, network support, and web hosting. Digital experts, WSC.net 435-0688. Don't wait, 435-0688. And WC54DO,
Show would not the FDA to investigate whether an existing drug for malaria can be used to treat the coronavirus.
Two lookers are giving it to you. Love and body, rockin', knockin' boots all night long. Once again.
The COVID-19 virus, which has rapidly grown into a pandemic, U.S. health officials say a vaccine ready for public use could take a year to 18 months.
CBS News meteorologist Jeff Buridelli.
In the cold air, we're going to see late season snow. We're already seeing it in Colorado and Wyoming. Winds gusting to 50 miles an hour and snowfall totals ranging from a few inches to a foot in spots. Light to moderate snow will then expand into Nebraska, northeastward through Minneapolis and northern Wisconsin.
Preemptive strikes to make sure that we don't get to where other countries have.
Moi, là, en fin de semaine, je vais me faire des tartelettes portugaises.
La transmission du coronavirus demeure majoritairement associée aux personnes de retour.
People with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.